Beneath a horizon where the last stars drown in their own fading music, the world exhales a breath of copper dusk, and the wind becomes a slow-moving oracle, carrying whispers of forgotten vows through the hollow chambers of night. The crimson veil descends, and not as cloth, but as a living tide of color, a bleeding curtain drawn across the quiet sky, where suns once roared like lions and now sleep like children. I walk there, barefoot on the trembling salt of ages, the ground warm with the memory of vanished flames, each grain of sand a tiny heart that once beat with the pulse of a universe. Every step is a story, at a prince who loved the sea until the sea turned to stone, and a queen whose voice became the echo of mountains, a soldier who laid down his sword to count the feathers of migrating swans. The veil thickens. It is not night, not day, but an in-between hymn, a song without sound that wraps the bones of the earth. I reach for it and feel nothing but the hum of destiny, as if the air itself were a harp string. Behind it, the silent suns turn in their slow orbits, vast golden wheels hidden by crimson smoke, their fire muffled like drums beneath velvet. I remember a story told by a falcon, with eyes of molten bronze, that the suns are not dead, only listening, waiting for a voice brave enough to call them awake. So I speak, though my throat is a desert, and each word is a pebble cast into infinite wells. Rise, O sleeping fires, rise and crown the sky with your terrible kindness. But silence answers, silence that is not emptiness, but the deep breathing of a giant who dreams beneath continents. It rolls across the dunes like a tide of unseen music, pressing my heart until it glows with borrowed light. I think of lost cities hidden under this crimson ocean of air, palaces built of moonstone, gardens watered by meteors, courts where dancers wore the fragrance of galaxies. Their laughter still trembles in the marrow of the world. I hear it when the wind bends just right, a silver cord between what was and what will be. The veil shivers. A crack of gold leaks through, thin as a single hair of dawn. From it pours a memory older than water, a sun teaching the newborn earth to speak, a first bird discovering its own shadow, a flame learning to love the darkness it devours. I fall to my knees, palms pressed to sand warm as breath, and the names of every ancestor rise from my skin, not as words, but as sparks. They whirl upward, joining the crimson curtain in a dance of quiet defiance. Each spark a promise that nothing truly ends. Somewhere a lone camel bell rings, a sound like a tear sliding down eternity's cheek. I lift my head. The veil parts slightly, and through it an eye of blinding white regards me. Not hostile, not kind, only infinite. The crimson veil drifted farther, not torn, not broken, but unfolding like a sail of endless dusk, a slow unfurling of whispered destinies. Beneath it the desert sang, each grain of sand a spark of memory, each dune a rising hymn to forgotten empires. The wind carried a scent of iron and roses, the mingled breath of war and prayer. Falcons wheeled in the copper sky, their wings scissoring the silence. Into ribbons of silver thought, I walked where no map dared stretch, following only the rhythm of my pulse, that ancient drum which knows the path even when the eyes are blind. Night fell like a patient monarch, and the stars gathered their counsel. They spoke in riddles of flame, in alphabets older than the first dream. I listened, not with ears, but with marrow, and their language braided through my veins, until my bones hummed with distant galaxies. Love appeared then, not the tender tremor of mortal hearts, but a wild high cry of destiny. It wore the scent of rain on scorched earth, the taste of salt from the world's deep beginning. I called it by no name, for names are cages. And this thing was a hawk of pure horizon. Across the dunes the moon spilled milk-white fire, and the shadow of every rock became a cathedral, My footsteps etched psalms on the sand, lines the wind refused to erase, for even the storm knew reverence. I remembered the elders' tales, how the desert keeps the secrets of those who loved with the ferocity of comets, who burned their stories into the night sky, so that even silence would echo them forever. And so I sang, my voice a low river through the emptiness, a river of vows to no one and to all. The crimson veil of silent suns lifted slightly as if to listen. Its edge gleamed like the blade of a promise, and the heavens leaned close. What is a journey if not a marriage between dust and dream? What is a heart if not an infinite well where stars descend to drink? I kept walking, knowing the path was endless, and that was the blessing. For an ending is merely another horizon, and the horizon is the beloved.